My phone is my bank.
Sampath Mobile Banking. Convenient, easy, saves time. Sampath Bank, we present your future.
A very good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of News First Weekend, coming to you live from our News First Centre in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudarnayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Central bank bond issue takes the fore on the election campaign stage once again.
මොකද්ද මුළු රටටම ඉතාමත් පැහැදිලිව පේන ඉතාමත් පිළිකුල් සාගත දේ මොකද්ද අගමැතිවරයා නොකරන දෙයක් නෑ මේක යට ගන්න මම අහනවා අර්ජුන මහේන්ද්‍රන් ගැන රනිල් මහත්තයාට උන කොප්රාල් ගැන
UPFA forcefully obtained buses for Anuradhapura rally, an allegation from private bus owners. Tragedy in Varapitiya, 5 people drowned in the Kirama River. Remains of a girl who went missing in Kilinochi a month ago discovered in a field.
Speaking at a media briefing in Colombo today, the UPFA said that the manner in which the Prime Minister acted with regard to the CBSL Treasury bond issue is suspicious.
මාසපහේ රජයේ අවසාන ලක්ෂණය තමයි සම්පූර්ණ වංකභාවය ප්‍රෝඩා මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමා
The final characteristics of the 5-month-old government is dishonesty and fraud. Of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, our prime ministerial candidate, identified the central bank transaction as a major robbery. After this robbery took place, it is clear that the Prime Minister is trying to avert the fraud that took place with regard to the CBSL bond issue. A fraud of this magnitude has never taken place in the history of our country. Arjuna Mahendran is only a puppet in this. Who is playing the main role behind this? Who actually benefited from this? Are these the very same people who are preaching to us about purity and cleanliness?
මේක පිටුපස්සේ ඉන්න හස්තේ කවුද? මේකෙන් නියම ප්‍රයෝජන ගත්තේ කවුද? ඉතින් මෙහෙම කරන අයද අපිට බණ දේශනා කරන්නේ නිර්මලභාවයේ පවිත්‍රභාවය ගැන.
මගේ නීති තර්කය නම්
My legal argument is that D.E.W. Gunasekara, as the chairman of the COPE committee, is not bound to the enjoining order issued by court. One of the main witnesses to this issue is the main citizen of this country, who is the president, who knows that Ranil Wickremesinghe is assisting the thieves and fraudsters.
Views were also expressed with regard to the argument on not allowing the former president to come to the position of Prime Minister.
The entire country is talking about the 18th Amendment. No one says that it is because of the 18th Amendment that Mahinda Rajapaksa went home. Everyone says that it was the 18th Amendment that allowed Mahinda Rajapaksa to contest for a third term. But if he did not introduce his amendment, he would have still been president and wouldn't have had to listen to someone called Sumanadasa Abe Gunawardena and call for an election 2 years early.
Speaking at a public rally in Hinguragoda yesterday, JVP leader Anrukumar Dissanayake charged that Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has managed to skillfully conceal the allegations that have been levelled over the bond transaction at the central bank.
I questioned Ranil Wickremesinghe about this matter in Parliament, asking him, didn't a major financial fraud take place at the central bank during the bond issue? But he kept responding with a question asking, wasn't it during the tenure of Nivad Cabral? But I did not let it go. I kept asking, wasn't there a financial fraud at the central bank with the involvement of the governor? But no, he kept saying Cabral's name and even called him a rogue. I asked again, saying that Cabral is not the issue here. But during the bond transaction, wasn't there a 42 billion rupee loss at the central bank through the involvement of the governor? But he kept saying Cabral must somehow be caught for this. I kept asking about Arjuna Mahendran, and Ranil Wickremesinghe is blabbering about Cabral. So a fraud did take place.
Arjuna Mahendran ගැන රනිල් මහත්තයාට උන කොප්රාල් ගැන මේක වංචාවක් සිද්ධ වුණා.
Now, the central bank bond issue became a trending story on our News First Facebook page tonight. Commenting on Facebook, Krishan Chanakajaya Sundara says he wonders why UNP supporters are too naive to understand this fraud and that if they are in denial, they should justify why. Meanwhile, Rikaz Rifai says, quote, if you think there is a fraud, do the needful, unquote. Nandana Perera raises a question as to why the CBSL thief is still around. If you would like to be a part of the conversation, do feel free to voice your comments on our trilingual Twitter handle at Newsfirst_EN or on our Facebook page www.facebook.com/newsfirst.english. You could also visit our website www.newsfirst.lk. Speaking at a UPFA public rally in Kuliyampitiya yesterday, UPFA Kurunegala district candidate Mahinda Rajapaksa criticized the current government's attention on development in the country over the past 6 months.
They had 6 months. They could have captured the thieves, but all what they did was bring files and show. Taking revenge is all what they can do. Do they speak of building the economy? Do they speak of how money should flow to the people? No. When I said that the basic salary would be increased by 5,000 rupees, they said no, that is not enough. We will increase it by 10,000. But now there is no basic salary. They don't understand because they eat ham and bacon.
Speaking at a media briefing today, Chairman of the Lanka Private Bus Owners Association, Gaman Wijeratna, spoke of certain interferences that took place to obtain buses from private bus owners for the maiden rally of the UPFA in Anuradhapura.
On Friday, the 17th of this month, 237 buses, that's nearly 250, were used for election propaganda activities in the Anuradhapura area. Most of these buses were taken from Homagama and Kotava. Moreover, they had forcefully requested private bus owners to give them buses. The administration of the provincial councils still belong to the UPFA. Because of that, bus owners are under a lot of pressure. They have no legal right to use the resources of the Transport Authority and provincial councils. No one sees this.
A public rally was held under the auspices of leader of the Democratic Party, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, in Wattegama, Kandy last evening.
An individual who has any self-respect will not obtain a degree and then resit the grade 5 scholarship examination. Such a character will do whatever it takes to destroy the life of the next opposition leader, even if it means by paying commissions and bribes. From there on, he will aim to sit in the seat of the president, even if he has to murder Maithripala Sirisena. That is why we will never allow this to happen.
Please do not forget that Mahinda Rajapaksa is trying to come back into power, not because he loves us or our children. It is because he is trying to protect the thieves around him, his power, his generation and his family.
Speaking at a public rally in Mahava yesterday, leader of the United National Party, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that they will address the matter of increasing the income of the country as a common issue.
One of the main challenges we face today is the issue of low income. Even if you are employed with a wage of 25,000 to 30,000 rupees, it is difficult to live, it is difficult to get married, build a house or raise children. For this we need to provide good jobs. There are still thieves here. We do not have any ethanol dealers on our list, that is for certain. I'm not sure about the other lists, but there are those who are ethanol dealers. We have only good persons. We have not included any thieves, corrupt individuals or rapists in our list. So bring victory from Kurunegala and I will do the rest at the same time. I will cut the saline tube of Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Several UPFA members and activists of the Pulpitigama and Mahava Pradesh Sabhas joined the United National Party yesterday.
Speaking at an event held today, Minister of Housing and Samurdhi Sajid Premadasa made a revelation regarding an alleged land scam in the Hambantota district.
රට කොටි ත්‍රස්තවාදයෙන් මුදවාගත්තට හම්බන්තොට දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ
Although they rescued the country from tiger terrorism, they could not save the Hambantota district from land racketeers. Ancestral lands that were to be distributed among the common man, were acquired on a major scale in the recent past. Farmlands were given away for a steal. I say at this instance that although these bigwigs distributed the common man's land among themselves, come the 17th of August, these millionaires will have to return the land to the common man in the Hambantota district and go home.
The UNP deputy leader made the following statement at a public rally organised for party supporters in the Kokala area in Ambulanthota.
Let's take a look at some of the views being expressed on the political stage.
They are trying to reverse the victory we achieved on the 8th of January. I do not know if they are fully clothed while saying this. Mahinda Rajapaksa is contesting for a parliamentary election once again.
In 2005, they asked for Mahinda to be made president, and it was done. Why did they return him in 2009? Out of gratitude. But on the 9th of January, the crown jewels and robes of this great king fell off.
In our party, there were those who did wrong. During the past 6 months, this United National Party government conducted a spectacle on the media by shouting thief, thief, thief. We also waited, thinking that they will catch the thieves of our government, but they did not catch a single thief.
We took a political decision. We told Mahinda Rajapaksa that there is a list of 10 vulgar persons whom all of Sri Lanka know about. Let's omit them. At least then we could have been okay with contesting without shame.
I think the gods who rule this world gave us a small punishment. They punished us so that we would correct ourselves.
He has joined history as president who asked for it instead of remaining for 2 more years. Mahinda has fallen from the throne to the mat. Look at how he is introduced now. He is a Kurunegala district group leader, Mahinda Rajapaksa. For shame, a former head of state is now a district group leader.
We are truly sympathetic towards Mahinda Rajapaksa. He goes by helicopter to Nuwara after making a phone call to ride horses. Parallelly, 4 Benz cars also make the trip on the road in trucks. That is followed by 20 or 30 defenders which are owned by the government.
They spoke about gold horses and Lamborghinis. They spoke of theft, but after 6 months they couldn't find a single theft. The lie caught fire in their hands. Who is behind the tax fraud? Ranil Wickramasinghe. The people who called us thieves have become thieves themselves.
He is seeing dreams that we are now carrying out the same thievery that they did. Today in our country there is freedom. We have the freedom of even calling the president a traitor and going home and living in freedom. They will not be able to return to temple trees for another 20 years.
When the youth come home, their parents ask them, what have you achieved by making the effort to vote? What have they done for you? They work for various persons for various promises and return empty-handed. We do not make false promises. We fulfill all promises.
While promises are made and allegations are levelled on the political stage, what do the voters have to say on the upcoming election? Let's take a look at some of the views being expressed on the streets.
For good governance, we must have good people. It is pointless to vote for bad people. Every time we have clung on to a party or a colour. This time we will select individuals and then vote for the party.
During elections, they come making various promises, but nothing happens thereafter. Because of the elections, there are posters on our gate posts too. After the elections, when we go to them with whatever problem, be it elephants or anything else, they have forgotten us. What do we do with this?
Politics is where politicians emerge victorious, while we are the people who end up losing.
UNF Gampaha district candidate and current State Minister of Defence Duwan Wijewardene has urged the people to come together and ensure the power of the ballot at the general election.
Kudu heroin ව්‍යාප්ත වුණා. අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ethanol ව්‍යාප්ත වුණා.
Crack and heroin spread rapidly. On the other hand, ethanol smuggling was on the rise. Politicians started peddling drugs while in Parliament. Drugs were brought into the country by the container load. We consider Parliament as the most important decision-making body in the country. Your vote is extremely important. When exercising your franchise, give careful consideration to who you're voting for. What Sri Lanka needs now is clean politics, where priority is given to the people and the country.
රටේ ජනතාව ගැන හිතලා ඒ පිරිසුදු දේශපාලනයක් ආපහු ලංකාවට අවශ්‍ය වෙලා තියෙනවා.
Speaking at a public rally in Hinguragoda, JVP leader Anurakumar Dissanayaka expressed his views on the spread of drugs in the country.
දැන් සංඝවේදගුරු ගොවිකම්කරු මත පදනම් වෙලා හදපු පක්ෂෙට මහින්ද මහත්තයා මොකද කරේ?
What did Mahinda Rajapaksa do to the party which was established based on the five forces, which include the Mahasangha, labourers, farmers, etc.? He put aside the Mahasangha and brought in the movement of drugs. Isn't it so? To whom does the drugs in Kalania belong to? The SLFP leader of Kalania. To whom does the drugs in Negombo belong to? The SLFP leader of Negombo. To whom does the drugs in Colombo belong to? The SLFP leader of Colombo. And to whom does the drugs in the entire country belong to? Mahinda Rajapaksa and his Prime Minister. Leave aside the fact that he was the Prime Minister, but he was also the Minister of the Buddha Sasana. What has happened today? One faction is the drugs faction and the other is the ethanol faction. Containers of ethanol were seized. One belonged to the SLFP leader of Kurunegala and the other belonged to the SLFP leader of Matale. Then where is the country's main liquor brewery? In the northwestern province. To whom does the Kurunegala district leader's alcohol in Hingurana belong to? The SLFP Matale district leader. To whom does the alcohol in Palavatta belong to? The Monaragala district leader. It doesn't end there. The party was also made a party of rapists.
The Newsfirst Sirasa Shakti door-to-door campaign to eradicate the drug menace from Sri Lanka got underway in the North Central province today. The program is being undertaken with the support of the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board and the Sri Lanka Police.
The program has already seen successful completion in the northern, southern and central provinces. Throughout the program, we have been able to visit hundreds of homes and speak to thousands of people, raising awareness among the entire nation on the scale of the drug menace. The program in the Anuradhapura district commenced this morning following an inauguration ceremony held in Mahalippallama. A public awareness program was also held at the Ketharama Viharaya in Ippavala. Newsfirst staff and officials of the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board also participated in the program.
This door-to-door drug awareness campaign is a blessing.
Door-to-door awareness campaign were held in the towns of Eppavala and Thambuthegama, carrying the message, drugs have no place in me, my home or my country.
The awareness campaign got underway in 6 areas of the Anuradhapura district yesterday and today. We are hoping to select another province next week and commence our drug awareness campaign there as well.
Day 2 of the drug eradication program in the Polonnaruwa district got underway in Badivava. Officials of the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board and Newsfirst staff carried out door-to-door awareness campaigns in Jayantipura and Kadavalavavu today. We are very happy that such a program is taking place in villages.
This is a good opportunity for those who render support towards the eradication of drug menace. The work done by these two organizations to prevent the use of drugs should be commended.
The next phase of the campaign to eradicate the drug menace will get underway in the northwestern and eastern provinces.
Justice Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa claims that unavoidable circumstances led to the omission of 4 prominent persons from the UPFA nominations list. He made the statement at a media briefing held today.
We witnessed how several persons in the UPFA were omitted from the nominations list this time around. What they said and tried to portray to the world was that they were not given nominations because they were either corrupt or involved in drug smuggling and underworld activities. If this is the case, then they cannot stop at 4 when it comes to former MPs on the UPFA list. It should be 75 or 80 at the very least. They limited it to 4 because there was a risk regarding whether several UPFA seniors would be able to secure a seat from the Colombo district. Thereby, this was not done with the intention of presenting clean candidates.
With over 20,000 U reporters across the country, the second U Report Eagle Awards, appreciating the service rendered to citizen journalism by Newsfirst U reporters, was held in Anuradhapura today.
Newsfirst U Report, which introduced the concept of citizen journalism, saw the participation of close to 1,000 U reporters at the Anuradhapura Cooperative Auditorium. Awards were presented to Newsfirst U reporters from the North Central Province, commending their skills in the field of media. The keynote speech was delivered by the channel head of Sirasa FM, Kingsley Ratnayaka.
If the 23-degree tilt of the planet's axis were to shift from the time we went to sleep yesterday and the time we woke up this morning, there would be major problems. In Sri Lanka, we faced a tsunami that we were not prepared for and were unaware of. In politics, we see prominent persons changing sides come morning. Dangerous statements are made. There isn't much noise at present. We feel that it is like the calm before the storm. If animals can sense such things, why is it that humans cannot? You can't hang a placard around you calling yourself a U reporter and walk on the streets. You must have a never-ending thirst to identify newsworthy stories.
Senior officials from the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited were among those who addressed the gathering. 6 Newsfirst U reporters were nominated for the coveted Eagle Award for their outstanding contribution in the field of citizen journalism. Chandrakumara Dayaratna, Ananda Vijayasiri and Vasanta Bandara were nominated as the top U reporters from the Anuradhapura district, while Priyanta Ratnayaka, Janaka Kumarasinghe and Lionel De Zoysa were nominated as the top U reporters from the Polonnaruwa district. Priyanta Ratnayaka was selected as the best U reporter from the Polonnaruwa district.
Polonnaruwa district ke hondama U reporter varya lesa ada dawasedi sammana labanne Priyanta Ratnayaka.
It was by chance that I provided a news story for Newsfirst. It is then that they called me and said that my news became breaking news. I could not believe that someone like me could provide the first story for the 7 o'clock bulletin.
Chandrakumar Dayaratna was chosen as the best U reporter from the Anuradhapura district.
Anuradhapura district ke hondama U reporter varya Chandrakumara Dayaratna.
මගේ පුංචි පුතා මට කිව්වා තාත්තේ අන්න අතන ඇලක් කෙරෙන වතුර යනවා අපරාධි වතුර කියලා.
It was my son who told me that the canal was overflowing and it was such a waste. I recorded from my phone and reported this news. The next day I felt a huge strength and I could not believe this was me. I want to become a responsible citizen to the nation. Newsfirst is a channel that can shape the lives of the people and can understand the sadness of the people.
පුංචි මාධ්‍ය කරුවෙක් වෙලා රටට යමක් කරන්න තියෙන එක කොච්චර දෙයක්ද?
A body suspected to be that of a 3-year-old child who went missing in Kilinochchi a month ago was discovered today. Upon receiving news that a 3-year-old child who went for a swim with her cousin went missing, a group including her mother were questioned. After a month of investigations, the body suspected to be that of the missing girl was discovered this evening. According to the Kilinochchi police, the child's body was identified by her relatives. However, the police said that a firm conclusion could be arrived at only subsequent to a ministerial inquest. Locals in the area request that the mystery behind the child's disappearance be revealed. 5 people drowned while bathing in the Kirim River in Warapiti, Valasmada this afternoon. The police media division says that a 48-year-old father, 47-year-old mother and 2 daughters aged 21 and 8 were among the victims of this tragedy. The 5th victim was a friend of one of the daughters.
The police say that the group had been bathing in the Kiramabawa when tragedy struck this afternoon. The deceased are all residents of the Keradeni area in Warapitiya.
Well, that's a wrap from the News First team for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great week ahead of you. Good night.